I hear a motion to approve the agenda. Is there a second? Motion seconded to approve the agenda. All in favor, if you can vote, say aye. Aye. Agenda is approved. Without objection, I am going to move up closing of the election until now and close the election. I'm supposed to do that to close the election. So the election period is closed. Now, let's have, let's see here. Chief Cianci, you want to come on up? Not that I think you're contaminated, but. All right, Chief. Hold on. I just have to find it. You know, the best laid plans of mice and men often go astray, but. Is it? I told you. I hid it in plain sight. Chief, thank you for coming. We want to present this check to the Lake of the Woods Fire and Rescue Department, company. And thank you for your service. Thank you for the service of your company. Lake of the Woods could not be here in the shape that it is, but you all here to do your jobs, and we appreciate it.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're quite welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. Now, masks are a wonderful thing when you're around a lot of people, but all right, now, let's, are there any past presidents here? I see Doug Rogers. I see Leighton Cumming is back there. Are there any other in the room? I don't see any. How about on the Zoom call? Is Lee Frame on the Zoom call? Taylor? Okay. Technology. And I think any other past presidents on Zoom, let yourself be known and be recognized so that we know that you're there.
Yes, Mike Ruglis.
Hi, Mike.
I'm here, Lee Frame.
Hey, Lee. Anybody else, Taylor? Okay. All right. Now-
Jeff Flynn.
Hey, Jeff. Good to hear.
Hello.
We got you. Okay. Taylor?
Okay.
Okay. Let's go to the current board members. I think everyone is here. Heidi Brown is here. Benita. I don't know why I just went blank on that, Benita. I'm sorry. No, couldn't see the forest for the trees. But thank you. Jennifer Zukowski is here. Walt Dirks is here. Pete Brown is here, and I am here. So,
Camera didn't come on, so I just left
I'm
it.
sorry, and Carl is here. Well, our newest one at the end of the meeting, and Terry is here. Are there any committee chairs here to be recognized? Claudia is here, Chair of Honors and Awards. Doug Rogers, Chair of External Affairs. And there is John Licata nominating. Let's see, anybody else? Any chairs on the Zoom call, Taylor?
Yep. Tina Moranti, co-chair of Pickleball Tennis
Hi,
Committee.
Tina.
Hi.
Anybody else?
Janet Klingensmith, Pools Committee.
Okay. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, how you doing? And Lisa McKinney is here. She's the chair of the Elections Committee. and an outstanding one at that. Any other committee chairs on the phone, Taylor? Okay, so we'll move on. I don't know how many of you know it, but this year I gave the President's Award, to the entire staff. This is what it looks like. I have 3 left to give out, but I gave one, I'm giving one to the administration, clubhouse, communications, community activities, the equestrian center, fairways, the finance department, golf operations, the maintenance department, and the security department. I think that given this crisis, they have all done an excellent job on behalf of the community, and they deserve this award. Okay. Now I have my report. It's only a few pages double-spaced, so it's not too bad. Thus far, this fiscal year has been the year of the pandemic. COVID-19 and the restrictions it brought have thwarted substantial progress on some board budgetary goals, impacting financial progress on our clubhouse, fairways, and other amenities. Fortunately for us, Charlie Manival, our Director of Finance, jumped on the chance to apply for funds through the Paycheck Protection Program. His application was approved and we have the funds. These funds have and will help defray some of their losses pertaining to personnel. We recognize Charlie for his initiative at our August 19th board meeting. Members have also stepped forward to help each other during this crisis. The many charitable organizations, such as, but not limited to, the Lions, the Wilderness Food Pantry, Lionesses. I'm always told there's lions and there's lionesses. Never the twain shall meet, apparently. But the Low Church, AARP, Low Link have increased their already sizable efforts during this crisis. I believe that we all hoped that the crisis would be in its end stages at this point. However, news reports seem to belie that hope, as the number of reported cases in our zip code stands now at 112. At my last report, it was 97. We've had 3 employees positively identified as having COVID-19. When you and your family go out and will be around people, I encourage all of you to wear a mask and exercise caution. Keep yourself and your family safe. You might also, this is a pet peeve, but when you're out with your family and your children, have them wear masks too. I don't know how many times I go into Walmart and see people there, but their kids don't have masks. And, you know, that's something that they should be doing. And I'm just fortunate my wife doesn't point at them and say, where's their mask? We have, however, made significant progress on many of our established goals. The Flat Run Forebay project was complete and operational as of June of this year. The Patrick Henry Court to Small Marina Stormwater Management project is in progress. Stormwater inspectors completed easement acquisition with lot owners in phase 1. Our engineering firm, A. Morton Thomas, can now complete the 90% plan. That plan will be reviewed with the new board in September or October. We have evaluated some of our 2018 stormwater hotspots. We voted to send the Monroe Street Culvert Assessment and 10th Fairway Assessment into the 5-year capital plan process for evaluation. There's a little bit more work that needs to be done on the Monroe Street assessment before it can be realistically determined when and how to do it. As far as improving financial controls and risk management, we have made significant progress. The ad hoc committee term was extended until October 21st. The Director of Finance quarterly reporting is now a standard feature in our operating procedure. And we continue to review internal quality control management system documents and update them. They've been updated for approval of cash handling, payroll, vendor onboarding, bank reconciliation, and accounts payable. And if you all recall, bank reconciliation was sort of what got us in trouble a few years ago, among other things. But that's been fixed. Under improving the golf amenity, we postponed bringing golf maintenance in-house until October 2020, and that's an evaluation. It's not a project we're doing. It is in progress, and the new board will develop the in-house should cost in September, October timeframe, or they may decide to forego it for this budget year. If they decide to proceed, they will look at convening an RFP work group towards issuing an RFP to qualified contractors in October for a board decision on in-house versus contract use in February of 2021. The golf business plan was approved at the July 14th, 2020 board meeting and was given to the new golf professional, Mike Harvey, for his implementation. Mike is a great addition to our staff and can help the general manager with the golf maintenance aspect of the course. Voting is encouraged leading up to the October 27th membership meeting. There are currently 2,107 ballots submitted towards the goal of 2,600 to close the referendum and count the votes. The Elections Committee and the board outreach efforts were and are delayed because of COVID-19. I'm pleased to say that we did approve and implement telephone voting, and at the last count for this election, some 22 members have voted using that option. For those members that don't like technology, they still don't mind using the phone, and it works. 22 doesn't sound like a lot, but I'm hoping that's the beginning of more people wanting to use that option. We also, in terms of a quorum today, we've had 1,003 members that have cast their ballots in the uncontested board election. I think the next board probably needs to look at a simpler way to do an uncontested election, but that'll be work for the lawyers. The goal of registering short-term rental properties is in progress. The general manager reviewed survey results from 560 respondents with the board on March 18th. The finance director wrote to short-term rental properties on registration and payment and adherence to regulations on July 7th. Finance, the Environmental Control Committee, and security staff continue to search for new short-term rental properties. This will probably be discussed at the upcoming September board retreat. However, significant restrictions on short-term rental provisions will require a referendum to alter the restrictive covenants. There it is again, the dreaded R word. Our goal of preventing amenity use by uninvited guests is complete and ongoing. We approved a registered tenant regulation amendment to tighten up tenant closeout process at our June 10th board meeting. The general manager implemented a 30-minute rule for outside compactor users and the Lions Club sale attendees using tech control. Maintenance posted an additional sign on LOW Parkway to that effect. Security using orange violation stickers at the clubhouse and beach parking when the passes are not visible. We've also done something new. We're issuing to the family guest pass members, they're getting like a placard they can put up in their window, because we think a lot of the people that are allegedly violating the regulations by being at the beaches may be family guest pass members, and they simply don't put their pass up in where somebody can see it. So we're giving them like a placard that they can put up there, and the security they will know. All right. As always, there's plenty of work for the new board to do, and I wish them well. Their success or lack thereof affects all of us. I believe that there will be significant revenue challenges for the end of this and the next budget cycle. The elections of directors will be upon the community before you might realize it. I encourage interested and responsible individuals who wish to serve the collective membership to step forward at that time. It has been my privilege and pleasure to serve on the board, and as president of the association, I thank all those that supported my efforts, and any success achieved was because of the collective action of the entire board and staff. Thank you. Now, let's see here. We go to Phil. He's going to give his report. And let me get out of the way.
Thank you, Cliff. Good morning, everyone. All right, it's my honor to present the annual report for this 50th annual meeting of the association. Since we last met, the coronavirus has disrupted life around LOA in a big way. And COVID-19 has changed the way we use the amenities quite a bit as we tried to follow the governor's orders. More members are playing golf and boating. Fewer are using the restaurants, fitness center, and pools. Park and beach use stayed about the same. Just the other day, we reinstalled the basketball hoops at the parks, and so we're trying to get back to normal as much as possible at the parks. We canceled large community events, which really hurts us to do, but we had to for safety reasons, including Independence Day celebration and treats on the point. The good news is, on the financial front, we could advance the slideshow, couple. Go ahead. Advance the slideshow. There we go. The good news is we're in 4 months into the 2021 fiscal year, and assessment collections for the current year are on target at approximately 80% of the annual assessment collected. This is consistent with prior years, so the good news is we're about where we expected we would be. Balances in the 4 reserve funds total $3.5 million as of August 31st, and reserve cash is adequate to cover this year's remaining capital spending requirements of $1.7 million. This includes the loan repayments related to the CART project. Operating cash stands at $2.7 million and includes loan proceeds received from the Small Business Administration Paycheck Protection Program, what we call the PPP, and that's $782,100. So if the PPP loan is forgiven, which we expect it will be, operating cash will be adequate to meet our operations and maintenance obligations for this fiscal year. The challenge is, how will we do that next year? And that's where we need the leadership of the board. Assessment delinquency rate compared year to year is 2.1% this year compared to 1.7% last year. But wait, there's more. Through finance department and collections attorney diligence, we've whittled that down to 1%. So compare that to the industry standard of 5%, and you can tell our association takes collections very seriously to make sure members stay current. The independent financial audits were presented, one in December and one in August for the last 2 years, and LOA received unqualified or clean opinions for both years. LOA remains the largest concentration of homes and population in Orange County, with 3,889 completed homes as of April 30 on the 4258 private lots. That's up 45 homes from last year, and we're about 23% of Orange County's population. We'll have the census this year, so next time we meet, we'll have that exact figure. Our housing stock is a key indicator of health in the community. There we go. And so it's good news that from May 2019 to April 2020, the Environmental Control Committee approved 33 new home construction projects, which is up 22 from previous year, and 100 renovation projects. That's up 40 from previous year. Our finance department issued 377 resale packages, including the same period for properties changing hands, which is up 43 from previous year. Home construction and sales seem unaffected by COVID-19. It just kept rolling on. We've got so many new members in our community. The board of directors and management spent significant time on the 8 stated board goals, which included starting new lakes management projects and improving stormwater management. And our president went into that in good detail. The board also adopted a 5-year capital plan and a golf business plan. They amended the bylaws to include virtual board and committee meetings, which is important in this environment, and also to establish subcommittees. They also updated the regulations regarding use of the common areas. When we look back at the year, let's go ahead to the next slide. There's the board goals, one more. There we go. When we look back on the year, we'll remember the COVID-19 for sure, with its emphasis on preventative measures such as washing hands and social distancing and wearing masks. We got together on Zoom instead of physically going to meetings, which meant there were a few family, pets, and children also participating in the meetings, right? Got a few of that. We'll also remember a year for other reasons, so if we can advance one more slide. Some of the things that got done this year, the Flat Run Forebay project on the main lake, Spotswood Playground, Hollyfield Lions Pavilion, and canoe and kayak racks located on both lakes. We found out that members want canoes and kayaks, so they're willing to rent spaces, so we built even more than we'd planned to. There were significant personnel changes. Mike Harvey was hired in August as our new golf pro, replacing Chris Brode. Ryan Richardson was promoted to Director of Food and Beverage over both Clubhouse and Fairways when Assistant General Manager Chester Guzik departed. We are currently searching for a new Director of Facilities to replace Jesse Graves and a grounds foreman to replace Michael Margraves. Okay, communications. There we go. Communications Manager Carolyn Broder worked alongside with other departments, finance and environmental resources, to develop new tools such as the LOA Beach Status webpage and early boater registration email notification. She also helped develop the interactive LOA amenity map webpage and the employee macro calendar to help deconflict event scheduling. She also worked with the communication committee on the LOA committee fair, but that had to be postponed. LOA communications team continues to put out the lake currents on a biweekly basis, with special pieces such as Zoom background photo contest and Valentine's Day couple, and the LOA Lowdown with new features such as LOA Lowdown Mysteries Solved. So let's advance one more slide. And you can see the team on that. There we go. There's your mystery solvers. Okay, communication statistics. What do you think? Do you think our use of the website went up during COVID-19? It absolutely did. Website users was up almost 13,690 subscribers, and that's up almost 22% from 2019. We found out during the pandemic, during this pandemic, the average has been 10,358 users per month. So members are turning to the website and our social media to get information even more. The primary challenge coming up is to identify potential advertisers and identify other revenue to help cover cost increases of other services such as music licenses and text alerts. All right, information systems, there we go. Information systems and network support has been outsourced for the most part. We did not refill the IT position. A considerable amount of time has been spent this year updating infrastructure and network security. Current projects underway include a phone system upgrade, Section 16 camera on Rapidan Road, and 9.9 maintenance area camera installations, and upgrades to all point-of-sale devices and merchant service support. Okay, let's turn to security. There's our chief. The ongoing emphasis of security is to reduce wait times at the front gate and to work closely with Orange County Sheriff. So total front back gate count. What do you think? Do you think it went up or down during the pandemic? It went down. It was approximately 2.3 million, down from 2.5 last year. We received 1.8 million vehicles through the front gate, of which over 600,000 was visitor entries. The back gate vehicle count was 500,000. I definitely encourage members to keep using tech control as much as possible instead of calling security. That we found some interesting statistics that there are about 2,100 active accounts for tech control, but that could be higher. And we've got about 17,000 barcodes. So we want to make sure those are active and useful as well. Chief Scott Walker continues to emphasize good customer service at the front gate, on the roads, and on the lakes. And this year, Lake Patrol stepped up its enforcement of lake regulations and safety checks on the main lake. Allied Universal is in its 8th year with LOA after winning a competitive bid for another 3-year contract. Challenges ahead include continuing to encourage members' use of tech control and work with the sheriff, and also work on protocols during this COVID-19 environment. Okay, Finance Department. Go to the next one. There we go. Our Finance Department, led by Charlie Madeville, again had a busy year at Holcomb Building with heavy property transfer activity, bringing many new members into the community. In the last 12 months, 406 properties have changed hands compared to 356 last year. So that's up 50 properties. The team supported the board's annual update to the replacement reserve study, continued collections efforts to try to keep delinquency below 2%, and worked on internal control procedures, as Cliff mentioned earlier. We also did quite a bit to promote voting use through Vote Now, and continued to manage the impacts of COVID-19 pandemic, especially doing business at the front desk has been difficult. Electronic voting levels have increased with 1,520 members registered to vote electronically compared to 1,413 last year. Challenges include keeping the assessment delinquency below 2%, managing the budget during COVID-19, and internal control procedures. Okay, boat registration. What do you think? Boat registration went up or down? It went up. Boat registrations are up to 2,703 boats this year compared to 2,620 last year. There are 1,680 powered watercraft compared to 1,646, and there are 1,023 non-powered watercraft compared to 974. Our maintenance department, going on to maintenance, there we go. Takes great pride in maintaining roads, parks, buildings, and lakes. The buildings department troubleshot some issues with water line, which help reduce operating costs, and they also installed LED lights in some of the maintenance buildings. The grounds department continued to maintain over 200 acres of common area, and the roads department renovated the RV boat storage area, and through a contractor completed another resurfacing portion of Lakeview Parkway. Health of the lakes. That's an overarching concern. If we can go on to the next slide. There's Bobby Jones. He and Nick Blankenship are leading a concentrated effort to combat nitrogen and phosphorus levels that are 3 times the EPA standard in Keatons Lake and 2.5 the EPA standard in the main lake. Keatons Lake water clarity has continued to improve, but we still have a lot of work to go. As part of the Lakes Management Improvement Program for the main lake, LOA has completed the construction of the Flat Run Forebay. This best management practice, or as we call it, BMP, structural project as-built survey shows it has potential to catch and contain 372 tons of sediment per year at Flat Run entrance of the main lake near the back gate. Here, the sediment can periodically be removed before it's carried by lake currents and deposited throughout the main lake. This can improve water clarity and water quality for the main lake. Maintenance oversaw 4,378 feet of roadside ditch reconstruction in 2019 and continues to reconstruct road ditches in-house weekly for a total of over 13 miles of reconstructed ditches. As for Keatons Lake, the 14th pond retrofit with Forebay project is complete. The pond had been filled up over the year by sediment, and its depth was only about 1 or 2 feet. The pond was excavated to approximately 6-foot depth, and the forebay was built upstream of the pond to catch and contain sediments prior to entering the pond and entering Keatons Lake. This BMP structure can catch and contain 4,346 tons of sediment, 38.6 pounds of nitrogen, and 5.2 pounds of phosphorus per year. All right. Environmental Resources conducted bacteriological and algae monitoring for our lakes and front entrance pond throughout the swimming season. So what do you think? Did we have any shutdowns this year? No, we didn't. We have not had any swimming water activity closures this season. We've been below the recommended thresholds for safe swimming and water activities. So the challenge on the horizon then is the stormwater management, all the manpower, funds, and coordination that it needs to continue in this community. And the roads crew is going to be doing a lot of this along the way. But also we have another project on the horizon, and that's the Patrick Henry Court to Small Marina Drainage Improvement Project. And there were some funds set aside in 2019, $140,000 to get that project started. And so we hired A. Morton Thomas to help design the project. And at this point, the good news is all 5 phase 1 easements have been obtained from members, and AMT can proceed to the 90% design level. Also along the way, LOA purchased 2 undeveloped properties on Yorktown Boulevard for stormwater detention. These properties were probably never going to get built on anyway. At the community center, we advance to the next one. There we go. At the community center, Manager Tracy Hayes and her team were able to host many events through March. That's when the shutdown happened. Community youth activities also hosted 3 events, including S'mores Night, Family Bingo, and the Family Date Night. In September, with the help of the Pools Committee, Sweetbriar Pool ended its season with the 6th annual Soggy Doggy Swim. This was an event that was enjoyed by more than just the dogs. The second Small Business Day was held at Sweetbriar Lions Pavilion in September, and this was a great opportunity for members to see the talents of their neighbors. In October, the Treats on the Point turned into Treats in the Community Center, and despite nasty weather forecasts, over 1,000 people came through the Community Center in this room right here to get their treats. Last December, we hosted the 9th annual Chris Kindle Mart in the Community Center, and this is one of the most anticipated events of the year. And the first day of registration, vendors were lined up at the door waiting to reserve their spots, and we had about 500 shoppers attending. Can you remember those days when we had that many people in a building? It just seems like so strange and so distant. Okay, in March, COVID-19 caused the community center to close its doors to the members, and member use dropped to 22,135 compared to last year's over 54,000. So 22,000 versus 54,000. By April, we had become accustomed to the virtual world. The Marion Pronk Hall, where we're seated right now, became the Zoom room. And it was no longer filled with pickleball players paddling little plastic yellow balls or kids playing basketball with their friends. The Marion Pronk Hall would usually be packed with the low player performances, but instead the curtains had to remain closed. The show just couldn't go on. The fitness center and pools were also greatly affected. We had to delay opening until June. Once open, members had to choose available time slots to make reservations. Fitness center has 422 memberships compared to almost 1,000 last year. Pools brought out 11,658 people this summer, which is down considerably, but that was representing 1,108 individual lots. Our Independence Day celebration got postponed until September, and then we had to cancel it for safety reasons. This summer was not completely a loss, though. Special thanks to the Turner family for organizing and hosting several family nights here at Sweetbriar Park. Challenges for the upcoming year will be readjusting to all the changes that have been made due to COVID-19. So now let's talk about golf. Golf maintenance contractor IGM has been with us since 2005, and Superintendent Mike Kuhn and his crew are keeping the golf course in excellent condition. This year we removed trees and made improvements to the fairways and the bunkers to improve playability. Our new golf operations manager, Mike Harvey, there's a picture of Mike, and his team reported golf rounds at 18,079 for 19 and 20, up from 17,518 from the previous year. Annual memberships are up to 145 over last year's 133, and we're showing consistent membership over the year. Immediate challenges are to continue to grow membership and increase afternoon rounds played. IGM contract is up for renewal, and the board will be asked to determine if we should renew the contract or bring golf maintenance in-house. So Fairways Cafe. There's Carletta. Fairways Cafe revenues of $432,753 beat the budget, but was $19,000 less than prior year. and would have probably been higher because of COVID, due to COVID-19 closure. If we had been able to stay open, I'm sure we would have done way better. The numbers of chits, orders processed remained consistent at 34,000 from prior year. Fairway's top line sales would have exceeded prior year sales if not for COVID shutdown. Open mic night, Shoots and Fest, karaoke, trivia night, football evenings during the season were very popular, including the sold-out performance of the Acoustic Onion. Fairways Cafe, led by Carletta Johnson and Sandy Stanley, is poised to continue to serve our membership through new and upgraded menu options and live entertainment, along with working closely with food and beverage director Ryan Richardson and golf pro Mike Harvey to attract tournaments and banquets. Okay, let's talk about the clubhouse. All right, Clubhouse. Ryan Richardson and the Clubhouse staff has hosted a variety of events in the past year, including wine tasting, club events, weddings, luau, silver tones, just the other night, and dinner with Santa, to name a few. The staff hosted 48 special events this year, including 12 weddings, 11 fewer events than last year due to cancellations. We expanded and changed our menu to emphasize monthly and daily specials. Seasonal specials and farm-to-table offerings were well received. Top line revenue was just under 1.12 million, eclipsing the 1 million sales mark for the 8th straight year. This was an $800,000 decrease from prior year because the clubhouse was closed for 2 weeks and had to go to a to-go delivery model for 6 weeks. We expect lower sales in the restaurant and catering business, with scheduled events canceled or postponed, and lower sales in the restaurant dining. We expect to see a decrease in top-line sales as staff serve fewer guests this year than last. Many of the canceled events have been rescheduled for the upcoming year, and Clubhouse is poised to continue to serve our membership through the COVID-19 pandemic and beyond. And they're booking events for the spring and summer of 2021 to offset lower than expected sales. If you could advance one more slide. There we have Ryan and Robert from the Clubhouse. All right, now going on to equestrian. There's some great shots. There we go. Bridget Hutchins, along with Assistant Manager Melissa Zukowski and the Equestrian Center staff, care for 9 horses. Same numbers last year. There are 4 Loa-owned horses: Patton, Prescott, Ivy, and Over the Moon, also called Juliet. 3 boarded horses: Gunner, Snip, and JoJo. And there are 2 leased ponies: Fancy and Elvis. But Elvis left the building this summer, and it's not here anymore. He was just here for the summer. This summer, the Equestrian Center offered 7 weeks of pony camp. Pony camp usually operates with 12 campers, but due to COVID-19, safely operated with 8, and all the camp sessions were filled. Many of the Low families also that didn't participate did private lessons to limit group contact. Staff operated camps as safely as possible, cleaning all shared equipment between riders and having all staff and participants wear masks and use hand sanitizer multiple times during the day. In September 19, the lower barn received a new concrete apron and aisleway on the wash stall side, and in winter 2020, the Equestrian Center office was renovated. New bleachers were installed around the show ring, and the judges' stand was refurbished as well. Unfortunately, the Equestrian Center had to cancel the May, June, and September horse shows, but we're hoping we can do the October horse show. In November 2018, the Equestrian Center began offering walk-in hours to the community on weekends, and at this time, we'll happily set an appointment for trail rides, pony rides, or lessons. All right, next, there's another shot of some cute horses and riders. Okay. Oh, and I asked him to put this in. Do you remember the April Fool's joke about the Pony Express? So there's Pony Express delivering some food from Fairways. And someone wrote, "Gosh, I'm so disappointed that's not a real thing." So, okay, on to, and there's the general manager's office staff, Faye and Lori. If you call up to the GM's office, you'll talk to one of the 2 of them. All right, and all right, here we are. Thanks to the board of directors. Thank you all for the good work and partnership. Congratulations to Cliff Wilkes on his successful term of service. Thanks also to the management team and operation center managers who helped make this year a successful one. I want to personally thank Charlie Manival, Barbara Riley, Bobby Jones, Mike Harvey, Tracy Hayes, Bridget Hutchins, Carolyn Broder, Ryan Richardson, Scott Walker, Mike Kuhn, Lori Trocchio, Faye Moeller, and thank you to the members. for all the helpful feedback that you give us on operation of the association. It's your community, so you need to tell us what you think. Thanks very much, and all of you, I hope you'll be very safe. Thanks very much. Pete wants me to make sure that you understand that at the clubhouse, we are down 80,000 in revenue, not 800,000. So, all right.
Okay, now it's time for the honors and awards to be issued. We're starting with, is it Betty? Right, thought that was you. Come on.
Okay.
Okay. Again, this year with the pandemic, the Honor Awards Committee had to kind of change the way they do things. We couldn't meet, which is required when we're doing our regular awards. So this year, it was decided to do a hometown heroes type of recognition. And we had posted some articles in Lake Currents and so forth, so people would nominate people who were in the community who had stepped up during this time frame. Now, let's see, I'm supposed to talk about the members of the committee. Good. Okay, members of the committee. I just stepped into this job this morning. Okay, Honor Awards Committee is Claudia Lowe. This is from 2020. The co-chair, Shelley Williams. Karen Kavarik, Publicity. Myself, Secretary. Joanne Buttimer. Janet Himmelberger. Judy Schrage, and Ann Wood. And then Cliff Wilkes was our board liaison. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Cliff, for all the support and advice that he gave us. Now, want to congratulate these members for what they've done in the face of the pandemic, for a job well done. Now, remember, this Hometown Heroes recognition, what I'm going to read are short synopses of contributions to our community that recognizes them at Hometown Heroes. Full comments to their contributions will be published in Lake Currents and also available in a special notebook, which will be displayed at the clubhouse. And be sure to read the full story if you get a chance for every nominee. So let me begin. We have, I understand there's supposed to be pictures, so I might be out of whack with the pictures, but we'll try. Jeannie Allen is an active member of the Low Garden Club. With her colleague, Val Partiva, she collects donations for the Wilderness Food Pantry, and together they have been hosting monthly drop-off food drives in the clubhouse portico. They've collected and delivered approximately 2,500 pounds of food since the start of the pandemic. Reggie Alston is a respiratory therapist at Culpeper Hospital. Reggie's a retired Army Ranger and medic. He has been in the front line of the grueling battle with COVID-19, working on long shifts. Reggie interacts with patients firsthand and cares for patients on a different level, as our hospitals have been closed to visitors and family. With compassion and empathy, he has stepped up to be that support, that family support for patients during the pandemic. Mary Jane Atwater, current Secretary of Low-Link, which is dedicated to enabling seniors to continue to live independently in Low. She provides leadership in the area of communications, fundraising, and member outreach, all critical in sustaining vital functions and connections with members. These areas have been moving targets this year as Lowlink has to modify plans due to the pandemic. And as services were restored, Mary Jane assisted with creation of safety assurance kits for volunteer drivers. Nikki Buell, like many in Low, risked their safety and comfort of their homes to ensure that those in need receive food during the pandemic. She served as the co-chair of the Wilderness Food Pantry for the last 3 years. And she's continued to work tirelessly during the time when venturing outside your home or being near anyone other than family was considered unsafe, to keep the food pantry operating. During this time, the pantry has been safely serving over 100 families a month. Whoops, skipped a page. Pastor Adam Colson. When COVID-19 struck this area and schools were closed during the pandemic, Pastor Colson knew that many children who depended on the food program at school would go hungry. Although the county was providing food for a feeding program, it is only accessible through Orange County High School. Pastor Adam and his team collected provisions for a week's worth of food to be picked up by families at the Low Church and the Living Water Community Clinic on Route 20. When this program ended, he founded Outside the Box, a community program which has provided more than 30,000 meals inside the lake and in the surrounding area. Ari Colson, or Ari, is a chip off the old block as she serves the underprivileged and marginalized alongside her dad. She plans and organizes her peers to love and serve in the community. In behind-the-scenes support of Outside the Box program, on Monday mornings, she can be found at the local Walmart, helping to gather the groceries for the day's food distribution. On Thursday nights, she often serves the special needs friends who participate in the RISE program. She also serves the children transitioning into foster care, placing necessary supplies in the bags of children who've experienced such unfortunate circumstances. Larry Iben is a man with the character of caring and was the go-to guy when president of the Low ARP Chapter 9. He has been a member of the Low Fire and Rescue for a number of years as a driver. Larry has worked with a number of clubs, committees, and organizations in Low and Orange County, and also encouraged his fellow members to get involved in the community. Betsy and Desmond Flanagan are caring neighbors, always ready, willing, and able to take on the many little but necessary chores that need to be done, but are somehow not within the mission of a large charitable organization. They are involved in many Low organizations, clubs, and committees, including the Lions and Lioness. They regularly pick up food from Food Lion for the Wilderness Food Pantry. Okay. Cecil Hurst is considered to be one of the most kind, gentle, and generous men by people who know him, always doing something for a friend or neighbor. He works diligently in his garden and generously offers the vegetables he grows to others. He seems to spend more time fixing other people's things than his own. He makes a difference in many families' lives every day. Paul Jacobson is the chairman of the Low Pickleball Club, which helps people keep fit, stay engaged, and active with their friends and neighbors. Under normal circumstances, Paul has done an outstanding job. But now, during the pandemic, he has tackled the hard decisions to be made under the new rules for play and scheduling, and has kept the club together during these difficult times. Tina Marangi was the first president of the Low Pickleball Club, which has become the second largest member amenity with over 200 members currently. She was the driving force in converting 2 tennis courts to 6 pickleball courts, creating another desirable amenity for home buyers. She inspects court conditions and reports to the general manager about maintenance that may be needed. Larry Moreland is the publisher of the Neighborhood Watch newsletter, which provides information on the many happenings in Low. Each week, he collects information covering security activities, Orange County Sheriff activities, COVID news, and local social activities, and for emails to distribution to Low residents. Low members have grown to appreciate what is going on in the neighborhood and more. Where are we? Okay, Val Protiva is an active member of the Low Garden Club with her colleague Jeannie Allen. She collects donations for the Wilderness Food Pantry. Together, they have been hosting monthly drop-off food drives at the clubhouse portico. They have collected and delivered approximately 2,500 pounds of food since the start of the pandemic. Lioness Val also collects supplies for the local women's shelter. Barbara Robinson is a member of the Low Child Help Auxiliary, which supports the Alice B. Tyler Village in Lignum. The village is a residential facility that is part of the National Child Help Organization that serves children who have been abused. Early in the pandemic, when masks were in short supply, Barbara donated her time and talent to making masks for the village staff. She then began making masks for members of the community, leaving them in a box outside her home and asking people to make a small donation to Child Help. This effort has raised thousands of dollars, allowing the auxiliary to make a $2,000 donation to the National Child Help Organization to support their child abuse hotline. Carolyn Rourke is the current chairman of Low Link. During the current crisis, she monitored critical websites to determine direction and response to resources to help community navigate the daily changes that ensued, posting alerts on the Low Link website. When it became necessary to cancel some services to protect members and volunteers, replacement activities via technology were set up to maintain as many services as possible. In addition to keeping Low Link informed on the virus, she made masks for distribution to members and volunteers as needed, and kept a stash of gloves, hand sanitizer, and disinfectant on hand to share. Shelley Williams is a member of the Low Garden Club, handling communications, sending caring cards to members who need a lift, and chairs the Home and Garden Christmas Decorating Committee. As a Low Lioness, she collects food for the Wilderness Food Pantry and helps out at the pantry as well. If illness, death, or other problems affect neighbors or friends, she is there with comfort and support as long as needed. Now, to go off script, y'all know that there are many, many people in this community that we should be honoring as well. So I just wanted to say how much we thank all our community members for what they have done. And to also thank the organizations here in the lake and outside, and the local businesses, and the restaurants, and other organizations, other groups, other businesses who took time and stepped up, changed their schedules, changed their way of operating in order to continue to serve our community. They all deserve our thanks. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Claudia Lowe, the Honor Awards Chairman for this year. We would like to show you the plaque that will be at the clubhouse, along with the binder that will have all of the complete bios in there. We're going to hang this in a very prominent place at the clubhouse.
That's a committee joke.
Yeah.
It has to be a prominent place.
Inside joke. Okay. Cliff, could you come up one second?
Remember that, Phil, prominent.
Prominent. I'm going to make an appointment with him this week. On behalf of the association and the Honor Awards Committee, we would like to present you with this keepsake so that you have a place to put your M&Ms.
That I'm not supposed to eat anymore.
And thank you for
Thank you
everything.
very much. Thank you. Are there any question cards back there? No? Okay. At the annual meeting, we really don't take questions from the floor. People have to write, can put them on a card, and no one has, so we can move past that. Okay, let me make some announcements, then we'll talk about voting. First, the next meeting will be the annual meeting of the Board of Directors, reconstitution meeting, the day after tomorrow, September 9th, here at the Community Center at 9 a.m. I'll be there for half of that meeting. And then the next regular board meeting is special meeting of the board for the purpose of a retreat, Thursday, September 10th, and Friday, September 11th, here at the Community Center, 9 a.m. each day. And then a regular Board of Directors meeting, Wednesday, September 16th, here at the Community Center at 2 p.m. I've already closed the elections, and the Elections Committee has given the secretary, who has given me, the results. So we'll go over that now. I'm going to run down the list. It'll be formally accepted on the 9th, but here's the numbers. There were 1,010 ballots cast. Some of those ballots were weighted, so that total is actually 1,015.5. 7 paper ballots, 4 today, 23 phone ballots, 985.5 electronic ballots, for a total of 1,015.5. One ballot was disqualified, 27 were not in good standing. So that total is 987.5 qualified ballots. And as Pete told us early on, we have met the quorum of 800. Terry Vickery got 918 votes, and Carl got 907.5 votes. Congratulations to the both of you, or you have my deepest sympathy. Okay, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion and seconded to adjourn. All in favor, say aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you all.